pretty exciting. Not first, waited all that, but it was great to see the drivers waiting, right? Some of them were already drivers, so others reached out to Andy for a little interview. Great.
There we are. So I had to find my buttons. Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we've got the season finale of Season 5 Area 51 Racing League Indy Series tonight here at Homestead, 100 laps. Drivers making their qualifying laps as we speak. Saying we got to show our point standings entering tonight's final race of Season 5. So our points leader is Eric Schaus in that number 72 machine, going to try to hold off that number 83 of Jack Walls. 24-point difference between the two of them. Steve and I were going through the numbers here during practice and trying to figure out what that 83 would need to do. We were able to determine that max points is going to be 56 if you can either win the pole or gain the most positions in the race, and then have no incident points, lead the lap, lead the most laps, and win the race. So if that, let's say, so based on that, that would be a 56 points result for the number 83 machine if he's able to do that, which would then leave Eric Schaus needing to obviously gain or have 24 points or better to be able to hang on to that lead. So that's where we're going to have to keep an eye on things for that. But I'll say again, I have a feeling we're going to see some pretty stout laps from our championship contenders here. So unfortunately, third place, Craig Forsyth, he is out of the running. Just didn't quite have the season he was looking for. Had some bad luck. Able to get the 2 wins though, as you can see. Had some really strong race at Mossport or Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And then you have Charles Johnson 4th, Jim Brooks 5th, and then rounding out our top 10, you've got Charles Teed, David Leclerc, James Ledford, Benjamin Combs, and Bud Steele. So we're going to let drivers finish up their laps here, and then we will get things going in just a moment. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight at Green White Checker TV, as I'm looking forward to tonight's race. let me. So say I was muted there. So starting advantage right off the bat, Jack Wall's able to get that bonus point for the pole position, beating Eric Schaus by 12 thousandths of a second. In third, you've got David Leclerc, Charles Johnson, Christopher Kresge, Charles Teed, Brendan Pasalacqua, and Gary Corley. 9th through 16th, you've got James Ledford, Jared Kaczynski, Michael Spell, Benjamin Combs, Todd Merkel, Craig Forsyth, Bud Steele, and David Patton. And then we've got 17th through 24th, you've got Timothy Wright, Art Peck, Josh Garner, Dwight Plush, Chris Jabot, Jim Brooks, Jason Bridges, and Nicholas Winook. So with that, so waiting for everybody to take the grid here. And again, so yeah, like I said, mentioned the bonus point's going to be critical here going into the race. And so advantage right off the bat to that number 83 of Jack Wall is going to get that bonus point. So basically you can put that 24-point lead down to 23. Of course, then everything's going to change as well with the laps led, most laps leds, all those kinds of things. So going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out. Again, 100 laps tonight here at Homestead, and we will be able to crown a Season 5 champion.
Checked the first box he needed to check, which was taking the pole, which should allow him to lead the early part of the race. And as you were saying, the points differential between him and Eric is definitely going to put a lot of pressure on Jack to try and win this race, because he gets so many more points for winning than finishing second.
Yeah, exactly right. Say winning the race gives you 50 points versus 40 for second. So that's going to be the next thing that Jack's going to need to win to be able to have any real shot at this, I think. We've seen how stout Eric is all season long. So he's got to make sure he does what he needs to do. I would say honestly, just don't do anything different, because obviously he's been up in contention all season long. So should be exciting though. Pace car is off. Now we're going to wait for that green flag to fly, and that number 83 of Jack Wall is going to lead the field to green. You see a really even start between those two there, and actually it's just a nose ahead right now for that 72 entering turn number 1. But Jack's going to have that inside line. We'll see if he's able to take advantage of it. He's definitely going to hug the bottom here, try to not let anybody sneak underneath him. And it looks like so far so good as these drivers go into turn number 3.
And Jack he's still maintaining on the bottom. One of the things I noticed when I was out running laps in practice, first of all, it's flat out all the way around. The bottom line definitely has the advantage, but I think there's going to be a little super speedway element to it. If you get enough people drafting in the high line, then I think it's possible to gain some ground on the high side. But the other thing that's going to come into play here, the car in this draft starts to get pushy coming off of turn 4. So that's going to add some difficulty for these drivers, especially the ones who are not in front getting the clean air.
Yeah, no, clean air definitely going to be king. And so you can see right now fighting hard for the lead are that number 83 and the 72 doing everything they can. But you can see Jack definitely going to try to protect that inside for all he's worth. And you can see that 72 Eric Schaus trying to hold him.
Oh boy!
Almost contact between the two of them. You saw Eric make a quick reaction. Only loses a spot out of all of that, which is a huge benefit for him. I say, but definitely a big moment there. Great reaction from him. I say just saw the 83 washed up a little bit, and say that definitely had caught the attention of that 72 where he had to react to it.
And look, Eric was also trying to squeeze him down pretty good, so there wasn't much margin of error for either one of them. It looked like Eric's car kind of glanced off the wall, but it doesn't appear to have affected it badly.
Eric's going to go for a dive into 3, catches apron. He's going to hang on to it there. Close call for Eric. So he's definitely showing his aggression here. He had a big run, tried to see if he could squeeze the gap. Thought better of it, but unfortunately that's going to move him now way down the field here. Looks like right around the 10th position. Again, still early on, so a lot of time to recover from that. But yeah, early action for that 72 car, doing what he can to try to get into the lead of this race and control it. And of course, Jack Wall is doing all he can to try to maximize his point standings. Again, now as you see, he's now under attack from the 50 of David Leclerc, Michael Spell in there as well. So one thing we didn't mention, Steve, is the fuel window is roughly going to be around the low to mid 30s. It sounds like. I think 33 might be right around that number, which is going to be really tight if they can go the race on 2 stops. Should we stay green? So that's going to be another one to keep an eye on for us here as well.
Okay. So let's see, 100 laps, so 2 stops, assuming everything works out perfectly. And
Yep.
Stay green.
Yeah, 2 stops is definitely going to be the goal here for these drivers. But let's say right now, obviously, still a long ways to go. So you can see a lot of movement still going around. So we'll jump back a little bit. Look where our championship leader going into this race is. You see Eric here still holding on to that 10th position right now, around the right around the 131 of Craig Forsyth, and then Gary Corley right in front of him. So he's just going to kind of take his time here and kind of pick his way here a little bit as he goes.
I'm kind of surprised that that Eric decided to make such an aggressive move on Jack Walls, because really he just needs to finish, would you calculate, 4th or better if Jack wins?
Yeah, I think 4th place. Yeah, I think 4th is the magic number for him. But yeah, so like you said, it was aggression early, but saying honestly though, I mean, I think he's doing kind of what got him to that point as well. It's like he has been an aggressive driver, but that's been getting him towards the front. So I'll say it's kind of a risk versus reward. Unfortunately, it did not pay off that time for him. However, he did make that really nice save to hang on to it there. However, you can see David Leclerc is putting up a really good fight though right now. And you mentioned, Steve, the outside line. I think it's really starting to show its strength here.
So it's possible that Jack is starting to get some of that push on the inside.
Yeah, and I think we saw that right off the bat too, when he was hugging almost 3 wide there for the lead there. We see him hugging that really low line right on the white line, and I'm saying that's going to be a little less banking. You're going to have to put a little bit more wheel into it, so I think it's just going to make it that much more difficult for Jack. And you can see actually David here actually clears him entering turn number 1. You see Jack's going to have the lower line through the turn again, but it looks like I think the momentum shift is really starting to show on that top side through the turns here. So advantage might be going to David Leclerc, especially if he can try to keep that 83 pinched a little bit more to the bottom.
He's also got Charles Teed helping him on the outside, so I'm kind of curious to see if Charles can close it up a teeny bit more, whether he's going to be able to push David by again.
Yeah, you see David gets a really good run there off of 2. Gets again to the side pod of that 83 car as they come through 3 and 4. And you see David's giving him plenty of room. You can see that 72 of Eric Schaus, he's starting to make his charge back up as well. I mentioned it was in the 10th spot, now going to come across the line here in the 5th position, going for 4th underneath that 88 of Michael Spell. We'll see if he's able to get that position cleared, and right now Michael's still holding strong on the outside. So yeah, so a lot of good battling here up front early on. Want to obviously jump around the field a little bit, but there's just so much going on up front here. Don't want to miss. Oh, actually, I see contact in the back there. We are going to have our first caution of the night. See Todd Merkel involved. And then I saw one other going around. I think that was the 34. Oh, no, it wasn't 34, actually. Who was that? The 6, I see. 6 of Bud Steele is involved as well. I saw someone else in there flipping. It may have actually been Bud Steele. I'm not 100% sure. So that's going to put us under the first caution of the race. I said that's going to definitely change our fuel strategies as well. So let's go back, see what happened here, Steve.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I can't tell who it is yet, but the black car on the bottom looked like he pushed up and ran into the blue and white car on the outside.
So we'll take a look here as we get through 3 and 4. Oh, actually, it was Gary Corley washes up into that 131 of Craig Forsyth. And so that's what pushes Craig up into the wall. And say with these cars, as they once you hit the wall, you pretty much have no control over them. That bounces him down across the path of Bud Steele. Nothing Bud can do. And then unfortunately Bud into that 81 of Todd Merkel. Nothing Todd could do there either. Just wrong place, wrong time. And then yeah, here goes the that 6 car up and over. So I was watching the 76 of Jim Brooks, just squeezes between these two. And actually, I see even a little further back, Nicholas Winook, I think he actually drove underneath them. So I want to take a look at this from the point of view of this number 78 machine. I'll watch on the roll bar camera here of Nicholas Winook as this happens. You see it going on right in front of him. And then Nicholas going to try to figure out where he needs to go and just about goes underneath him. So yeah, so really close quarters there. However, we just actually say it all happened so quick. We just had our pit stop cycle go through here, and it looks like David Leclerc is going to win that pit stop battle, Steve.
Okay, wow.
And it looks like everybody's going to get out of the pits on the lead lap. Unfortunately, Todd Merkel had to take a tow, so he's going to have to wait and for his tow to finish up to be able to get back on track. So it looks like he's going to go at least one lap down in that number 81 machine. I'm saying, so what we need to also do, of course, is see where our championship competitors are. So right now, Jack Walls is in that second position, and then in fourth place is the 72 of Eric Schaus. So Eric able to gain a spot in that pit stop cycle as well. I'm saying keep himself in contention here. As you can see, he's running the apron to save as much fuel as he can in that number 72 machine. And as I say that, actually, Steve, lights are off on the pace car already, so we're going to get back going here next time around.
Yeah, Jack's definitely going to have the pressure on him here. Are these guys allowed to pick which lane they restart in?
Oh, actually, we go the Indy Series. They do single file restarts, but also the leader can control the restart when he wants. So basically, David here, he can jump whenever he wants to on this restart. He has full control over that. So it's going to be up to everybody behind him to just react as quick as they can, and of course, a little further back in the field, be careful to just to not kind of have that accordion effect into the back of each other.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because Jack Walls is once he catches up to David Leclerc with the draft, is David going to make the mistake of leaving a little bit too much open on the bottom? If Jack tries to pass him on the outside, then he's going to have to worry about Eric possibly getting underneath him and getting by with the draft on the inside.
Yeah, it looks so far a good start there for David. Like you said, though, Steve, now this is where David's going to play protect here. I think we're going to see that 50 car here jump straight to the bottom. And sure enough, he's going to run the bottom line through the backstretch. That's going to move Jack up top. And say David going to hold on to the lead for the moment, but definitely going to watch the momentum shift here. As you can see, that 72 Eric Schaus, he's going to try to use the momentum and see if he can get around that 27 of Charles Teed. And actually looks 3 wide to the top. See if he can take that momentum all the way around these two leaders here. I think these tires are still a little bit too fresh for that to work out at the moment. But right now you can see, close. He squeezes the gap there between the 83 and the 27. So move Eric now up into third position, right behind Jack Walls and our race leader, David Leclerc.
I'm really curious to see if he can make this 3 wide work.
I actually think it does have a chance, but I think later in the run. I think right now just tires are too fresh. Everybody's going to easily be foot to the floor. As actually you can see that he now loses a spot to that number 27 to Gary Corley. And so now you can see the shoes on the other foot here now. You got now the 83 of Jack Walls trying to work the top of the 50 of David Leclerc, where it was exactly the opposite here on that first run. And we saw that David, close there between the 72 and the 83, almost kind of the same thing, exactly the opposite of what we saw that last time around. So now Eric able to get around the 83 of Jack, now working on the top side of that 50 of David Leclerc. So again, we talked about Eric going for the aggressive moves early, and he's doing the same again. But now he's got to has to try to find a way to get around that number 50 machine of David Leclerc to try to get a lap led, because he's yet to lead a lap. And again, all bonus points are going to be so critical for both these championship contenders here tonight.
And it seems like Jack Walls is not pushing it as hard as he could right now. I wonder if he's trying to save tires a little bit.
I think, he tried running the top side there a little earlier. It didn't seem like it worked. So I think this is actually the perfect opportunity to just try to ride. Maybe save some fuel, save some tire, and then make a charge here later in the run. Of course, that's all incidents pending and such. But right now, though, you can see that number 50 car doing all he can to hold the bottom. And again, looks like Eric's starting to just eke out just a slight advantage towards the exit of the turn. But you see, though, David again has the advantage through the turn. But I'm watching here, that's going to be close at the line. It looks like Eric is going to grab the lead there going into turn 1. Actually clears the 50. So we now have that new race leader, that number 72 of Eric Schaus, our points leader, ending the race. Again, gets that critical bonus point now in that 72 car. And of course now also going to try to control this race here as he enters turn number 3 with 77 laps to go.
And apparently, if you do everything right, you can make a pass on the outside here for the lead.
Yeah, I think there's again, you're gonna have to be aggressive, I think, to do it, Steve. But I think it's definitely doable. You just got to time it right, kind of get the draft. And it looks like you might have to even maybe try to pinch that lead car down a little bit, just to kind of ruin their momentum a little bit if you can. You see David Leclerc trying to do the same thing here. You can see he gets to the side pod of that number 72 car, but just can't quite capitalize off of it. And actually, looking around, looking where some of these movers are on track. Notice Michael Spell in the 88. He is up into that 5th position, started 11th. So he actually moved up there pretty early in the race, just didn't have a chance to mention him yet. So a good start for him. And also, of course, Craig Forsyth. He is now up into that 6th position right behind him. Craig starting in the 14th position. As it looks like they're coming, close there between him and the 34 car. That is Jason Bridges. Jason showing as 2 laps down at the moment here. So again, he's just going to try to get cycled in, I think, with the field, grab onto their draft, and then try to get settled in. Todd Merkel, also an 81 car, is back on track right now, 2 laps down. So he's going to try to do what he can, of course, to minimize the damage on that one as well. Again, unfortunately, had to take a tow due to that damage.
Meanwhile, Jack Walls has gotten back up to third place. He's still kind of hanging back a bit, but I wish I knew what his strategy was right now.
Yeah, Jack's a tough one to read. As he usually has some pretty good. Actually, we got contact in the back. I see 2 go around. I saw the 34 was involved in that one of Jason Bridges. It looks like I think the 28 of Charles Johnson was the other one. Let's see if he can get back on his tires. He can. However, it looks like that car up there, he starts moving again. However, we still actually don't have a yellow from that because it went down to the apron, so we stay green despite that big wreck there. And again, you see still Eric Schaus trying to hold off David Leclerc. And Steve, I'm noticing is a lot of drivers are starting to move a little bit, it looks like, towards the top as I've been watching. A lot of drivers kind of moving towards the middle. We got contact a little further back. We do have a caution out now. Trying to catch what driver that was. Christopher Kresge, I saw. He's got one behind. Looks like Gary Corley taking a tumble there. So we are back under yellow here. And trying to see, looks like, yeah, the 65, the 16 was involved. Looks like Gary able to get rolling again. So let's see what brought out this second caution. And we'll also see what happened a little earlier as well.
That would be the second incident that Gary Corley was caught up in.
Oh yeah, you're right. Gary washed up just a little bit into the 16, I should say, of Christopher Kresge, and then those two just hooked together, and they both go up and around. You see that red and white car? Really good job of him avoiding that one, trying to catch. I think that might be the 38 of David Patton. Great job of them. You see Chris Jabot, he ducks down and is able to avoid it, as is the 6 of Bud Steele. And then you see the rest of the field here slowing down to try to get by him. As also you see the 28 of Charles Johnson in the pit.
Looked like somebody hit Gary Corley as he was trying to go underneath him.
And I'm going to hunt back to see that other incident here that involved Charles Johnson and the 34 car. So we're going to watch as we're on board with Charles Johnson, or watching Charles, not on board, I apologize. So watch him come through the turn here. So you see the 34 of Jason Bridges on the inside line. So you can get a better angle. I'm not sure what happened here. Charles just gets loose. That car just went straight left on him. I'm not sure what happened to that number 28 machine. Actually, so Jason Bridges, nothing he could do there. Just something happened to that 20 to Charles Johnson. Very odd situation there. However, he is in the pits. Gary Corley coming out of the pits, and we mentioned we just had some pit stop cycle. And I'm not at all surprised to see this, Steve, but we have a strategy call here by that 6 of Bud Steele. And we no longer have a strategy call by 6 of Bud Steele. He's going to head into the pits. Bud has a habit of liking to stay out and and then stay out on older tires, but looks like he thought other of it this time around. So looks like pit stop cycle is now going to have our points leaders here. 1-2, Eric Schaus, Jack Wall. So this will be an extremely interesting restart between the two of them. David Leclerc there in third. Craig Forsyth in fourth. So I'm going to jump around here because let's say we have some drivers that have definitely made some moves forward that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. And I was saying I wanted to check that 38 car. David Patton in the 38 machine. Yeah, so that is that red and white car or red and black car, that we were mentioning. Great job by him to avoid that wreck. And also right behind him, the 12 of Josh Garner. I'd say a new name to me, new paint scheme. Say Josh from 19th to 11th, so good job by him. And right behind them, Jim Brooks in that 76 machine. He started 22nd, is up into 12th. And also got to mention that number 5 of Chris Jabot. Chris started in 21st and is up to 14th. So got some pretty good climbers here early on. And actually got to mention Nicholas Winook as well, 24th to 16th. So good starts to the race for those guys. Again, still a lot of time to go here. We have still about a third of the race to go. Or sorry, 2/3 of the race to go. And also need to mention, Todd Merkel, 81 car, got one of his 2 laps back. So he is now just 1 lap down.
We got somebody pitting, looks like at a 6th place. Let me go see who that is.
It's Michael Spell in the 88. He's going for the fuel mileage game here. I like this. A lot of drivers actually further behind are James Ledford, Dwight Plush, Timothy Wright. They are all in. Looks like Bud Steele in as well. I like this strategy, actually. I think this could be a good one because, again, they just get a little bit more fuel in these cars. We talked about that fuel window being roughly that low to mid 30 range. That could definitely go a long ways for these guys if we go green the rest of the way here.
Yeah, definitely, because they're right on the edge. You know, if it is like 33 laps on a tank, they're right on the edge of just having to make one more stop.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Possible that everybody else here might have to make 2 stops.
Yeah, I'll say especially if you're going to be the car leading the field here, controlling the pace of the race, you're definitely going to be, I think, on the 2-stop strategy just because of the fact that you're not going to have that draft to save all that fuel. So it's going to be interesting to see. So it looks like the first one to top off is going to be that 88 of Michael Spell. Looks like he's going to restart. I believe I saw in the 16th position. Let me double check here. Yep, 16th position for Michael Spell. He'll be the first, I believe, of those that pitted. So now it's going to be back into the hands of that 72 of Eric Schaus, points leader entering the race. 2nd place in the points, 83 of Jack Walls right behind him as we get back underway here with 67 laps remaining. And so far, again, clean start there, but here's where it gets critical is that momentum. We're going to watch that 83 car get a huge head of steam. Just watch. Looks like that 72 just hits a brick wall, but then the same thing for the 83. As soon as he gets to the outside, then he kind of hits that same wall of air, and that's where they kind of get then kind of stuck there side by side. And you see, here comes Craig Forsyth. He's going to go with the big head of steam, and again, tight racing here between our championship rivals going into this one. So they are definitely not giving each other an inch right now, or if they are, it's literally just about an inch between the two of them.
Craig Forsyth is going 3 wide on the outside.
Yeah, Craig definitely going to be one also to contend with for the win tonight. Again, unfortunately out of the points title, but he definitely wants to make sure that these competitors know that he's going to be mean business here for Season 6 coming up shortly. So I'll say, again, Craig, I think, going to be one that's going to be definitely one to watch in the race tonight. And, of course, the rest of the segment come Season 6 here shortly. Jared Kaczynski in the 222, he's kind of popped in the picture here. Haven't talked about him yet. Started in 10th, currently running in 5th. Right behind him, you've got Brandon Pasolaco. I haven't mentioned him either yet. However, he's right around where he started, so a good run for him. And of course, we mentioned Charles Teed still right there in that mix as well. As still these guys up front though are just dicing for the lead again. You can see just how close they are down the backstretch. Saying it, we'll just see. I mean, you mentioned, Steve, the tire wear kind of hugging that inside line. We'll see if that's going to be something that's going to start hurting that 72 as this run goes on.
And Jack Walls, he's trying mightily to get by on the outside, but it's just not quite working.
I think the top side will work, Steve. It's just I think we need more tire wear. I think it's just too early. I think once the tires start wearing a little bit, always you see that push right there for that 50 David Leclerc. And that's what I think you're going to need to see that lead car have, is they just get that push. Of course, though, in that clean air, it's going to be tough for that to happen because the clean air is king on these cars. And that's why you see some of these guys running 2-3 wide even early on in this run. I think it's just to get that clean air on the front wings of these cars here.
Yeah. But we did see Eric Schaus make the pass on the outside when David Leclerc was leading. And I don't think it was too many laps after a restart.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely doable. You're not wrong on that one. Again, I think it's going to take a lot of aggression and just timing everything right. It's just, yeah, I'd say it's a lot of skill and a lot of trust, I think, in your fellow drivers as well to make it happen.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Plus, I think you need the person on the inside to maybe not take the best line, because I remember David held it really low, probably too low coming off at turn 4, and I think that may have cost him some time.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Steve. I think that especially in 3 and 4, I think Homestead is an interesting track, even though it looks like it's just a normal a mile and a half oval. These turns are not at all the same. You can take 1 and 2. I mean, obviously with these cars, their foots are to the floor, except for maybe in the draft while saving fuel, and of course when they get that aero push. But if you're where that 83 or the 72 are, your foot's to the floor in these machines here. So that being said, though, turn 1 and 2 is, for whatever reason, that turn is faster. You can just run it a lot more aggressively. And probably in these cars, you can actually run that white line a little bit better. But here in 3 and 4, though, you can also see, though, Eric, again, running just above the seam, basically. And you see Jack tried to get the over-under. Couldn't quite do it. Oh, man, that was close between the two of them. And that's what you got to do. You got to take that advantage as soon as it opens up. Jack tried to make it happen, couldn't quite get it done. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum here, but we'll see. Of course, that draft is going to pull him right back into it. But yeah, I think that's what we're seeing, though, Steve, is I think that that momentum, though, I think in 3 and 4, you want to be just a little bit higher here. But actually, I'm wondering if that may have actually caught the front wing a little bit of that number 83 of Jack Walls, because it doesn't seem like he has the same pace that he had before. As you see, David Leclerc with a big move to the outside to grab that second spot, saying everything looks okay in the wing to me, but it just doesn't seem like he quite has the pace that he had just a moment ago.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. Maybe he's just trying to collect himself.
That's definitely possible. That was a close moment between the two of them here. So I'm trying to take a look to see if I can find a better angle on the car here.
It does look like he's a little bit slower on the straightaways, so it may have hurt his car.
Yeah, I'm trying to look to see I'm trying to compare with him and David Leclerc, trying to look to see if there's any different bend or crinkle. But you're right, though, it just doesn't look like he's got the top end speed right now in that number 83 machine. So possibly a little bit of wing damage to the front of that car. Again, can't get a great look at it, unfortunately, but we'll try to see if we can get a better look as they go. But yeah, right now, though, that 83 of Jack Wall's dropping spots right now. Again, I think just might be in a little bit of a bad spot here with that damage. Or potential damage, I should say.
Oh. Oh, boy.
Oh, we got a caution further back, so this will be... Oh, big hit there in the back. Looks like the 5... Oh, I see the 5 of Chris Chabot. I see the 23 of Brandon Pasalaco. Yeah, Brandon's got a lot of damage to his car. Chris as well. But Chris... I say both cars are pointing in the right direction, so it looks like they're going to be able to keep rolling here. So we are back under caution. You see the 28 of Charles Johnson coming through onto the scene.
That was actually Jack Walls that caused that, because he caught the apron in the middle of 3 and 4, got his car a little bit sideways, and he had to back off to save it. And whoever had to see the car that ran into the back of him.
Let's take a look here, watching it now. Looks like it may have been the 76 of Jim Brooks right behind him. Let's take a look as we go into turn 3.
That's who it was.
Oh, yeah, you see right there. He catches the apron there and gets big loose. And I'm saying, just again, these things going 200, 210 plus probably, yeah. And you see, actually, it looks like a bit of a net code there. So it looks like I think that was no, that wasn't the 27. Actually, I think it was the 23. Apologies.
Brandon Pasalacqua, is that who that is?
Yeah, that's Brandon Pasalacqua. Yeah, actually, huge net code between the 76 and the 23. So, and then he makes contact with that 5 of Chris Chabot. So, unfortunately, both innocent bystanders in this one. Just again, wrong place, wrong time, and also just really bad net code as well. So that's going to bring out the yellow here. Again, luckily, though, both drivers able to get back onto their wheels, though, and I believe will stay on the lead lap. And looks like, I was waiting for the pit stop cycles to go through. Looks like Eric Schaus going to hang on to the lead, well, those that pitted. And again, we've got Mr. Bud Steele staying out. We'll see if he decides to staying out this time around. And then also got to mention our 81 of Todd Merkel is back now on the lead lap. That's going to give us 21 cars here on the lead lap. All right, let's watch Bud here. Let's see if he's going to duck into the pits or stay out. I think he might be seeing it's hard to pass on the top side, so maybe he tries to take advantage of that here. So we'll wait and see. And this time, yep, that 6 machine is going to stay out here. And I think he's probably, because I mean, he can probably still make it on one stop as can the rest of the leaders here. So just he'd have to pit a little bit earlier. So I mean, I think this is Bud's strategy call at this point.
Surprised that Jack didn't pit.
No, I think no, Jack did pit.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. Everybody except the 6 car pitted there. So I'm assuming the 83, I should say, probably did a fast repair on that machine. Again, you can see obviously it was not up to pace. I say the other question though, with that contact, it looked like between him and that 76, is the potential of whether or not that gave him any incident points, which would then cost him the 3 bonus points for having a incident-free race.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that probably did give him some incident points.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. I say, unfortunately, see Charles Johnson here. He's staying out. He was hoping that he'd be able to get that wave around on the 1 to go. But with that number 6 of Bud Steele staying out, that's going to unfortunately trap Charles. Unfortunately, looks like trap Charles actually 4 laps down. So he's going to wind up having to fall to the back on this restart. Is the only car that is a lap or more down, but with him being 5 laps down, he's going to have a lot of work to try to get those back.
So we're talking 15 lap older tires for.
And we've got some drivers topping off here. I see this 83 of Jack Walls and the 38 of David Patton. They're topping off here. Again, we still have 51 to go. Next time around is going to be 50 to go. We'll be at the halfway mark. And looks like James Lefford, Dwight Plush doing the same here. I don't know if I'm on board with this strategy here, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it either, but we've seen enough times with Jack Walls this season where he does stuff like that, and next thing you know, he's up front after we get another 20 or 25 laps.
That is true. I mean, the one thing that he is going to have going for him, well, it won't be a big... I'll say he'll have less fuel to take in that 83 machine, but it isn't going to be a huge amount less because, again, those leaders all just made that pit stop there under that last yellow as well. So, and again, all the leaders here can make it to the end on one more stop. Again, that fuel window showing roughly in that 30 to 33 window range, it sounds like. So now what Bud Steele, I think, is going to be doing here, he's going to be protecting that inside line, and we'll see if Jack's able to make that top line work and do that pass again and kind of use the momentum to sneak around the top.
But I think your concern is right, because if this thing does stay green, I don't see how he makes up that distance, even if he has to put less fuel in.
I mean, he can easily get back up to the lead pack. It's just, I don't know if it's going to be enough of an advantage. So we'll see, though. We're back under green. Bud Steele leading the way there in that number 6 machine. Again, you see all the drivers here trying to get up to speed and then grab onto the draft of those cars in front. Right now, though, so we'll see as Bud Steele comes out of turn 2. We're going to be watching that number 72 of Eric Schaus. Let's watch the momentum that he's able to gain down the back, and actually isn't able to get to the back of that 6 car before they get to turn number 3. So we'll have to see if he's able to do something here out of turn number 4.
He's got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, so he's going to hit that same wall of air as that 6 is in. You can see he gets to him, but I don't think he's going to be able to complete the pass here. So now it's going to be to see where David Leclerc is going to go. David's actually going to go straight to the bottom. He's going to try to slingshot both of them. There he goes to the top. Now David going to try to go for the lead in that number 50 machine.
Yeah, that was a good move by David Leclerc right there.
And I see here comes Craig Forsyth. He's going to do the same. He's going to jump to the bottom though. Oh, actually, Bud opens up the bottom. You see, he ran the middle there. That's going to give that points position. That's going to give the lead to that 131 of Craig Forsyth. So I don't know if Bud was worried about the 50, didn't see the number 131 there. That's going to jump Craig now into the lead. And then Bud now second, David Leclerc in third, and then the 4th place car of Eric Schaus.
I think at this point, Eric Schaus has decided to just kind of lay back a little bit and let these guys fight it out, because he's got such an advantage over Jack Walls right now.
Yeah, no, if I'm that 72 car now, is just you go cruise control, go full fuel save, maybe even move your fuel map down as low as you can, where you can still hang on to the draft here, because you're in a nice safe spot here. And it looks like that is exactly what he's doing, Steve, because he's really not fighting anybody right now. So I think that definitely is going to be the strategy, at least at this point in the race. And again, if Eric can just save his tires, save the fuel, I think that would definitely be kind of that's going to be goal number 1, I feel like, for that number 72 machine here.
Look who has snuck their way up into 6th place.
No, yeah, say right behind, it was right in that incident with that number 83 of Jack Wells. Say Jim Brooks now up into 6th, started 22nd. Also, Christopher Kresge as well, got to mention him. He was in one of those earlier incidents as well. He is now up into 7th. So let's say those guys using advantage of those cautions and the fast repair for sure for that number 16 machine. Not sure if the 76 had to use one or not as well. And then also got to give a shout out to Josh Garner. Again, I believe this may be one of his first races in this Indy series here with Area 51. Right now running a really solid top 8 position, or top 10 position in 8th, starting 19th. So let's go hunt down that 83 of Jack Walls. He's still a little further down in the pack, around 18th position it's showing at the moment. Looks like he is right behind the 5 of Chris Jabot. So I wonder if Jack maybe just going same thing, maybe full fuel save mode in that number 83 machine as him coming down the front stretch here. But again, I mean, 18th position compared to Eric Schaus right now in that 72 in that 5th spot here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Jack Walls, you just got to come up with every little advantage you could possibly think of because you've got a lot of distance and time that you're behind.
Yeah, so that might just, again, just maybe try to throw something different at it. You never know what could work. Again, as I say that close quarters there between Bud Steele and David Leclerc. I don't know how they didn't go around there. And then saying, I also need to mention Jared Kaczynski in that 222 car. He is now battling for the lead with that 131 of Craig Forsyth. So we've got a good battle here going up front for the lead. Right now, again, still Craig able to hold onto it. But we have a big battle going on. As I just mentioned, that 12 of Josh Garner now up into that 4th position, right behind that 6 of Bud Steele. Again, Bud did not pit under that last caution, so he's got about, I'd say, 5 to 10 maximum more laps on fuel on that 6 machine. So while it's probably a little bit limited on this tire side of things, to say that car is going to be a little bit lighter, which is definitely going to help him. Although you see a big push out of turn number 4 for Bud Steele, so I don't think that car is handling very well now on those older tires.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably not.
Which, I mean, that's a good thing to know. So these drivers are going to learn, and say Bud's going to know, and he can relay that to his teammates. Like, hey, man, this thing is not handling well as these tires wear out, so you might actually be wanting to split this thing in half instead of stretching it out. We'll see. But again, though, now you see that 12 of Josh Gardner now up into that 3rd position. So, again, great run by him. I'll say there's about a second or so off of the lead. But as we've seen the draft of these cars, they'll be able to grab right back up into it here. And you can see the 50 David Leclerc, he's working the inside of that 12, and also that 72 of Eric Schaus is also working and trying to catch back up to this lead pack. Looks like he's getting kind of ready to release those sandbags.
I'm surprised that David Leclerc is able to run so well because look at his rear spoiler.
Oh, you are right. Let's go look at that 50 car a little closer here. So you can see that left rear spoiler definitely has got a pretty good wrinkle in it. So that car still, I'll say, I'm sure everybody around him is seeing that, but that car's doing all right still somehow. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one, Steve. But yeah, that's definitely some good damage to that machine there. Although that being said, though, you can see he's not really closing up on the leaders, so I think he's kind of just managing here. You see Eric Schaus able to get around him without too much trouble there. So move Eric now up into 3rd. I see the 16 of Christopher Kresge in the pits. I don't believe this is going to be a scheduled stop, so we still have 37 to go. Unfortunately, going to put him a lap down. Say up front, you still see that 131, 222 are kind of trying to sneak away from the field. Eric Schaus now up into 3rd. He's going to try to chase them back down. And then they've got the battle all right behind them, with starting off with that number 50 of Dave Leclerc. You see, as you see, Michael Spell got loose off of 2, is going through the grass, gets back on track. Looks like he's going to hang on to it there. But big moment there for Michael Spell. Great save by him. And I say also got to mention Todd Merkel showing now back up into the top 15, I believe now in the 13th position. And then Jack Walls slowly but surely moving his way up now up into 12th.
Nice recovery by Todd Merkel.
Yeah, I mean, being 2 laps down, able to get back on the lead lap, and then also moving his way forward. So, saying again, Todd just wrong place, wrong time, able to use that fast repair to his advantage. So we'll keep an eye on him as well as this run goes on. And so let me jump back over to that 50 of Dave Leclerc. It's like he is now under attack from that 76 of Jim Brooks. This is for the 4th position. You see Jim's able to get to the inside. Looks like he'll have the advantage entering the turn 3. We'll see if he's able to complete the pass. We've seen how well that top line works. You can see Jim gets tight there, has to wash up a little bit, and you can see David gets a big run there off of 4. So with that 50 car, even with that right rear or left rear wing damage, is still able to hold on to that 4th position.
And I'm a little bit farther back watching Bud Steele on his old tires with Nicholas Vinook and Brandon Pasalacqua, who is recovered from his damage.
Here comes the 6. He's in the pits now.
Yep.
Hopefully in the pits. Just makes it. Oh, man. Good save, Bud Steele. Hopefully he got it down to speed there, but so that was definitely a Brown Shorts moment for that 6 machine. But I think we'll see if he's able to. I'll watch him and see if he gets out of the pits. I want to keep an eye on this battle for the lead. But if he got the thing down to speed, that was a pretty big effort there to do that.
Definitely.
So it looks like 6 is away, so he's good to go. So great pit stop by Bud Steele as we have 31 to go. See Jim Brooks, David Leclerc, they're still fighting for that 4th position. Also that 12 is in that mix as well, as we had mentioned. Josh Garner, also Charles Teed right here in that fight. Looks like Jim's finally able to clear that number 50 machine. So we'll see if he's able to take that clean air and move back to the front. And so he's got to chase down that 72 of Eric Showski. See, Eric's been able to sneak away. Looks like he's kind of tagged onto the back just about of this lead battle. I think tire wear is actually, you can see the field's really spreading out here, Steve. I think the temperatures of the track, right now it's 68 degrees ambient, 88 degrees track temp, but I think this track might actually be wearing the tires a fair bit. So I'm going to watch lap times as well. Even with these leaders, I want to see Bud Steele might be onto something here with his pit strategy, because you can see he's going to probably have some pretty quick laps right now compared to our race leaders, as they've got probably about 5 to 10 more laps before they have to make their green flag pit stops.
Depending on what you find out with your little mathematics there, it may be an advantage for Jack Walls to pit early, because these guys are all within their pit window to make it now.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody can make it to the end here at this point in the race. I say the only risk, of course, is getting trapped a lap down. So that might be the other strategy, of course, is trying to make sure you pit long enough. Because right now, Bud Steele is the first car one down. So if a caution does come out, he's going to be in big trouble. He'll get the wave around, but he's going to restart all the way back in the back. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So I'm going to watch lap times this time by Craig Forsyth. Just ran a 25:229. Let's go find that number 6 of Bud Steele. Wait for him to finish his lap. Let's see what he ran here. But you can see his field is really starting to spread out, Steve.
I remember correctly, 25.2s to 25.4s is...
Actually, you know what? Either Craig is going really fast, or Bud just doesn't have the pace yet, maybe with the heavy fuel tank, because they were literally a thousandth of a second apart. It was that 25.229 to Bud's 25.230. Looks like Chris Jabot, he's ducked into the pits in that number 5 machine. Oh, actually, it looks like he had a moment there getting in, so he's going to have to loop it around and get it back pointing in the right direction. Is he going to be okay? Lose a little bit of track position there, but the car's still moving forward here. Unfortunate for him. He's going to go a lap down during the cycle. And actually, I see Todd Merkel here pinned to the inside wall here. He had a moment as well, and just finally gets it unstuck. But we still stay green as he's got damage. That car does not want to turn. So we're still at the moment green because he's down onto infield, down in by the grass. So I think we're not going to see too many people want to risk a pit stop right now, just with that potential of a caution coming out. But as I say that, though, it looks like Todd took a tow and he's back in the pits as well.
So I think that probably it's not to your advantage to pit early, because even if your lap times are about the same, you're not gaining anything from it. If you were able to pit early with maybe 1 or 2 other guys, where you can come out and run, low 24s or mid 24s for lap times, then it's going to help you a lot.
Yeah, I'd say these lap times are not changing much. It looks like David Patton, the 38, he's hitting the pits here. But yeah, I'm watching lap times. Like I said, 25.201 for Craig Forsyth, Bud Steele 25.192. So it was 100th of a second between each other there. These lap times are not changing too much. And say definitely see these drivers still fighting for what they can. Say Jim Brooks still fighting with that 50 of David Leclerc. Charles Teed right there in that mix as well. So I think right now I think these drivers just waiting until that pit window opens. I think the best strategy you can do here is going to be take fresh tires and then the minimum amount of fuel you need to make it to the end. Because again, I think every ounce of weight here is going to be critical for these drivers.
Definitely. And Jack Walls is right now trying to make a move on Josh Garner, who not long ago was up there fighting with the leaders, but has now dropped back to 9th place. Yeah,
you're right. And say Jack isn't too far away from that group, including that number 72 of Eric Schaus. Eric's kind of fallen off the lead pack here as we got more pit stops underway. We see the 77. As I see one just hitting the pits there in front of him. Looks like that was a handful, actually. Dave Leclerc, Nicholas Winook, and Brendan Pasalacqua all in the pits. So say right now it's going to move Jack as during the pit stop cycle here up into 6th. And he's going to be right behind that 27 of Charles Teed. As let's jump up front. Actually, Jared Kaczynski, he's going to use the access road here. Say they could pit off of 4, but he's going to try this approach. Maybe feels a little safer doing it. And actually, the 131, he doesn't lose a lot of time, actually, there. You see Craig Forsyth there, not too far ahead of him. So he's in the pits as well. So that's going to hand the lead over now to Jim Brooks here in the 76 car. Probably, again, not too far away from his pit stop cycle. And then you've got, that 72 of Eric Schaus right behind him. And then Charles Teed. And then right behind those guys is that 83 of Jack Walls. And they stay out one more lap. So, again, even as the race leader, that 131 right now, Craig Forsyth, is a trapped lap down. As we have a caution during the cycle of pit stops, it is the 12 of Josh Garner. That is going to trap some drivers a lap down. They'll get the wave around, but definitely not what some of them were looking for. So this is going to be a huge break for some of these leaders here that did not make that pit stop yet, including our 2 points contenders. So let's go ahead and see what happened to that 12 car. So I have a sinking feeling it was just a pit entry gone wrong because, again, these cars do not transition well with the banking. Watching that 12 of Josh Garner going through 3 and 4 as he enters down. Looks like he is going for the pit entry here. You can see him coming down to the banking. And here's that transition. As soon as he gets down to the transition, the car just steps away from him. And so he does everything he can to hang on to there, but just going to make contact with the inside wall. And that's going to bounce him up across the track. He just gets up high enough to bring out the caution. Does a great job to hold it down low and tries to loop it around quickly, but he's going to be able to be okay. Actually, it's kind of crazy, Steve. He's going to actually, I believe, stay on the lead lap even after all that is said and done, while still trapping a bunch of cars here a lap down.
Yep, definitely, and he'll be able to get a fast repair and make that car like new.
Yeah, so he's going to get everything up and running and be in good shape. I'll say from Craig Forsyth on back, they're going to be grumbling at him a little bit because they're going to have to take a wave round and be kind of at a bit of a disadvantage here. So we're going to see a lot of wave rounds. But that being said, though, we have pit stops underway. See the leader, Jim Brooks, is in the pits. He's going to hit his pit stall here. Make sure he doesn't overshoot his marks. Is in nice and safe. Now let's go jump over to our race leaders here, or championship leaders, I should say, Eric Schaus and the 83 of Jack Walls. Looks like clean entries for the both of them. Now we'll see who's able to win this battle off of pit road. It looks like, I believe Eric Schaus is going to get the advantage there with that nice pit stall there. So move now Eric back up into the front. Jim Brooks in second. I believe I saw Charles T there in third, and then Jack Walls in fourth.
Walls is definitely going to have his work cut out for him here.
Yeah, so, I mean, he'll be still in a good spot, but yeah, you're right, though. He's going to definitely have to fight hard. Again, he's going to need to win the race and now, of course, also have some luck, I feel, as well. Obviously, Eric leading a lap, so that's going to be a bonus point there to offset the lap that Jack led. And I'll say, well, to see, I'm not sure who's got the most laps led at this point as well. But again, though, we're going to have a lot of wave rounds here in just a moment. Say those are going to probably include Craig Forsyth, Jared Kaczynski, not Todd Merkel, as he's hitting the pits now. So David Leclerc, Nicholas Winook, Brandon Pasalacqua, Benjamin Combs, David Patton, Christopher Kresge, Art Peck, Dwight Plesh, and Timothy Wright. So those are going to be drivers that are all going to take this wave round. They'll get all of them back on the lead lap except for the 16 of Christopher Kresge. He'll still be one lap down. And it looks like Chris Jabot sitting 2 laps down after his little spin on pit entry, unfortunately for him. So he's going to have to get some luck to get back onto it as well. So, yeah, so we got 15 to go already, Steve. I haven't even been looking at the ticker. So this race has gone pretty quickly here. So it's going to be pretty much a sprint to the finish at this point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can make it caution-free the rest of the way.
It's gonna be a good question, actually, because again, we're gonna see the aggression pick up. I'm sure a lot of these cars, definitely some strategy on their fuel situation. Again, I think a lot of drivers probably put the minimum fuel that they need to make it to the end. However, did they account the green-white checkered potentials in that as well? That could also come into play here in this finish tonight. Because again, while tires are important, the lighter the car, the better. So say if these guys can have the fresh tires and the least amount of fuel, that's going to help them propel them forward.
How many sets of tires do they have tonight?
They are unlimited sets of tires, so they can pit all day, every day if they wanted to.
So that could factor in here at some point.
I think at this point, as long as they're not involved in the incident, I don't think we're going to see any pit stops for any of these leaders here the rest of the way. I think what they've got is what they've got. I think as we've seen with that track position, and also with we're going to restart here with looks like 13 to go as here come all of those cars getting their wave arounds to get back onto lead lap. We were at 8 cars on lead lap. Now we're going to be on 17 cars on lead lap. So, yeah, I think at this point, though, I think the strategy is going to be for these leaders here. As long as they're not involved in the incident, I think that was their last pit stop there.
Yeah, probably right. All right, so if you're Jack Walls, what do you do here? Because you're stuck in 4th, and the guy you need to beat is in 1st, and he needs to finish 4th.
You go like hell. You try to pinch him down. I think you're gonna have to use the top side, I think, to get to that second position. And once you're there, you got to use that momentum, I think. And then if you can snooker him and kind of do that over-under move that we've seen some drivers do, try to sneak underneath him there. Obviously, you can't go below the white line in this league. Otherwise, I think you just got to get to that outside and just try to pinch him as much as humanly possible. We're about to find out, though, Steve. Say the pace car is in. Going to restart with 13 to go. Points leader Eric Schaus leading the way. Going to try to hang on to that lead over the 83 of Jack Walls. Jack gets a great restart. You see the 27 Charles T did not miss it. I don't know if he's in the wrong gear or what, but Jack goes from 4th to 2nd there right away. So we've got the battle for the championship. It is on. So we'll see what Jack in the 83 is able to do as he jumps to the outside right away off to the outside of that 72. Oh, contact between the two of them. They stay straight somehow. And we stay under green, but I don't know how they didn't both wreck there. But we stay under green somehow with that.
They didn't wreck there either. That's astounding.
So next question is, did that damage either of their cars? I mean, I don't see how it couldn't have, but both cars still running pretty strong here. We'll see if the top end of that 83 is still in good shape. As you can see, he's right on the back bumper of the 72 going through 3 and 4. And you see also Charles Teed, he's recovered well, is up on the top side here, trying to see if he can make the momentum go. But right now, as we have 11 laps to go in the race, and right now Charles Teed now able to move up into that second position. He's going to try to see if he can work over that 72 of Eric Schaus. I don't know. I'm watching the 83 car. I'm wondering if that may have also done the same thing, where it just looks like maybe that top end isn't quite where it was before. Because you see, even in the draft, he's not pulling up as quick as you might expect. So it's hard to say for sure. We'll have to keep an eye. But right now, though, you can see Jack doing all he can, trying to hug that bottom line. Does clear that number 27 car. Now he's going to try to find a way. Oh, contact just touches the back bumper there, or back, I don't know what you want to call that there, of the 72 there down the backstretch. Couldn't find anywhere to go. And they stay still going there not side by side, but nose to tail. And also here comes that 131 of Craig Forsyth. He's going to make the momentum work here and try to jump to the top. And where did Craig come from? He was one of those cars that got the wave around. Now he's back up into 3rd. And 72 actually moves to the top here. I'm curious what's going on. So this is getting wild here. I'm not sure who's moving where and why.
I'm surprised he left the bottom open, but
it worked though. He kept the momentum. I was actually able to say, my four-leg one is excited about this race here. I apologize for the yelling in the background, but he is excited about this finish here as we have 8 to go. So I'll try to give him some attention while broadcasting. So Yeah, I don't know, Steve. That was wild. I'm amazed that worked. Oh, as we got one stuck up against the wall. That is the 222 of Jared Kaczynski, and he is beached up into that wall. All right, so caution is back out. We have 7 to go. Let's see what happened to that 222 car of Jared Kaczynski to bring out this caution. Alright, so we're watching that 222 as they go through 3 and 4. It's right behind that number 6 of Bud Steele. Oh, they both start washing up, and then eventually Jared runs out of room and he just gets stuck into the outside wall there. So it just looked like I think actually, yeah, Bud was actually on older tires. There's still 26 lap tires on that number 6 car. So I think his car just was not handling well at that point in the race. And strategy-wise, it looks like most of the field here is staying out. Jack Walls is back in the pits. Again, I think he may have had some damage in that number 83 machine.
I think so too. Plus, he's going to throw on some fresh tires, but like you were concerned about, this will probably put him too far back to be able to get up there and win it.
I would say that, but I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, Craig Forsyth, he was the first car that took the wave around there, and so I mean, I want to say he restarted probably around what, 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere in that window, and he was there in 3rd place within just not even 5 laps. So I mean, we're going to restart here with probably 3 or 4 to go. Okay, of course you still don't know if there's going to be any more green-white checkers to the end here. So yeah, I don't think we're done here.
Probably not, but this will be pretty exciting to watch Jack Walls try and work his way through here, and it looks like Craig Forsyth right behind him. Or yeah. Bud Steele.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. Craig Forsyth in 2nd. You got Jim Brooks in 3rd. Then you got Charles Teed, Michael Spell rounding out our top 10. Or top 5. Yeah, that one. And Rachel, get some water, tequila, whatever's going to help you relax a little bit. It's going to be a wild finish, I think, to the end here. But yeah, say Eric obviously doing everything he can to try to win this title, and it's been a battle here. I say they've been fighting hard. We saw close quartered racing between the two of them, a little bit of contact a few times. So yeah, these drivers going for every inch here to try to get this title here as we are on the 5 to go. However, lights are back, still on the pace car, so we'll probably restart here, Steve, with 3 to go. So again, won't be in green-white checker territory yet, but it's gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be a shootout here.
I think Jack is going to be too far back to pull this off, but he's, it looks like he's restarting around 13th.
Yeah, it looks like he's 13th. He'll be the first of those cars on the fresh tires. Again, so probably it was about, I would say, what was that? Probably about a 7-8 lap run there for those that pitted. He's also got some cars that took that wave around as well, so I mean, they're going to have even older tires, so... and the other thing is, I mean, as big as the draft is here, we'll definitely see, I think, some of these drivers be able to use the outside line, use the momentum, and really be able to kind of slingshot their way further forward. I think that's what we saw probably Craig Forsyth do. So I kind of wish we'd been able to see some of the moves he was making that 131, because I'm pretty sure he was probably going full send there in that car.
Yeah, with those fresh tires, too, at least for the first few laps, he ought to be able to go flat out through 3 and 4, even with the aero, but... so that may be an advantage.
Yeah, no, I think at this point it's you kind of go with that approach of checkers or wreckers. I was like, you go full send or you take it back on a rollback. I don't think there's much else you can do at this point. If you're that 83 of Jack Walls, you just got to go full send here. So it's going to be exciting again, though, that 72 of Eric Schaus, he's got control of this restart. So once that pace car is off the racing surface, he can go whenever he is ready. So if he wants to, he could actually wait till the green flag flies and then go, or he can go as soon as that pace car leaves that racing surface. So discretion is up to him, and saying that could definitely also affect the outcome of this restart, just again because of these drivers with that accordion effect with this single file restart here.
And I would say that Eric probably has this locked up. He's run a fantastic race and done everything other than his little miscue early on. Done everything perfectly.
I think he's going to get picked on here. He may not. I think he has a good chance that he'll probably win the title, but I think someone's going to snooker him on this restart here and use that momentum to grab the lead here and steal the win from him. But we'll wait and see as we are back underway. And you see he does get a very big lead on this restart here. So now it's all about what kind of momentum can that 131 and the 76 get. Can they work together here to close the gap, or are they going to fight each other? And it looks like they are thinking about fighting each other, as they're going to come around here with 2 laps to go. You see Jim Brooks trying to sneak underneath that 131 of Craig Forsyth. Can't quite do it. Here comes the momentum, though. What can Craig do? Eric actually goes to the top there, throws off the 131 there. So off of 2, side by side here with 2 to go. Craig Forsyth leading the way now off of 2. Looks like he will clear the 72 of Eric Schaus. Now it's going to be a battle between that 131 and the 76, it looks like for the moment, but Jim isn't quite clear of Eric Schaus as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Watching Jack Walls still doing what he can as well, as we have the 1 to go. So they're going to try to watch multiple battles at once. Jack doing everything he can to jump to the front. Right now, Craig Forsyth leading the way. We'll see what Jim Brooks is, if he's able to get some momentum out of turn number 2. Right now, he's going to hug the back end of that 131 as we go 3 wide for the lead here, or for second place, I should say. It looks like Craig is going to hold on through 3 and 4. And at the line, Craig Forsyth going to get the win. Second place, Jim Brooks. Third place looks like will be Charles Teed, with Eric Schaus bringing it home in the 4th position. Jack Wall's able to recover to 8th. However, unfortunately, as you said, Steve, not enough time. A great attempt, though, for the recovery. And so, yeah, so that's going to give the win now to Craig Forsyth. He's going to win the race. That 72 car going to win the championship here. A hard-fought battle there. And like you said, Steve, surprised to see that 72 jump to the top there. Maybe thought the momentum would work, or maybe just knowing that he didn't actually have to worry about fighting that 83 car at the end. As you can see them both entering the pits together here. So let's jump over to, though, our race winner, though, Craig Forsyth. So we're going to have a couple extra interviews to do this evening. So we're going to get our top 3 and, of course, get our champion as well for Season 5, as Craig Forsyth here does donuts on the front stretch.
Greg kind of making a statement. If he'd just been a little closer in the points.
Yeah, I know if Craig had some of that luck that he needed early on, say he would definitely be one to watch here. But still, again, a great job, though, for Craig Forsyth pulling off the win this evening. Put himself. So I don't know where he came from and how he's able to get back up to the front after getting that wave round, but he made it happen there, and he's able to pull off the victory here tonight at Homestead.
He made a nice perfect O there on the front stretch.
Yeah, he is nailing us. I must have had some practice lately. So he's nailing these burnouts here at Homestead. We'll go full speed. We got to watch them in their full effect here. So congrats to Craig, our Season 5 finale winner here at Homestead. And let's go and pull up our top 3 finishers. We're going to start with Charles Teed in that 27 machine. And we got to talk to Jim Brooks, Craig Forsyth, and of course we will pull, last but not least, our season champion, that number 72 of Eric Schaus. So let's go and hunt down Charles Teed here. All right, pulling in our 3rd place finisher here, Charles Teed. So you're kind of up and down a little bit tonight. Up front early and then kind of got shuffled back a little bit. It looked like tires actually played a pretty big role tonight. Definitely was not kind of that bottom feeder type race that we've seen before with these cars. It looked like you actually had to kind of use the grooves a little bit and really work the track, work the clean air. I mean, from your point of view, what was it feeling like in that 27 machine?
Yeah, that's exactly right. When the race started, I took good care of my tires and ran up front. Then the second or third stint, I ran them really hard and burned them off and lost 4 or 5 positions. Worked my way back up, and then there was an accidental EOL that sent me to the back. But Craig, after I had seen Craig go through the field twice, thought maybe we could do it once, and kind of followed teammates through the field and moved back up, and was really lucky. I think Eric was just being very precautionary to make sure he finished 4th and got his championship. He was a rocket all night, like he has been all year.
Yeah, it was a wild one up front. We saw really tough battling between the 72 and the 83 there, doing everything they could to kind of fight each other for that title. So even contact a couple of times between the two of them. Again, a few times. I don't know how they saved those cars, but it was a really exciting run between the two of them. But you've had some really strong finishes here as well to kind of finish up season 5. So is that something you're looking forward to moving forward up to season 6 here soon?
Yeah, like I told the guys, I said I was going to learn from them this year and learn how to drive. Next year, I'm going to go give them heck. And hopefully we're going to have an even better run. I had some mess ups and some unfortunate things like everyone else did, but it was a lot of fun. These guys are all really good drivers, and congrats to Eric winning, Craig getting another win. It was fun racing. I raced a lot with GM over the last few races, and all these guys just raced so clean, and it was just a blast. Thank you guys for a great broadcast.
So you guys make it easy for us, I feel like. So that being said, though, I can't let you go yet because you got to give you opportunity for any thanks and shout outs, anybody watching, things of that nature. So the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my buddies that with our Dark Horse team, from Brandon to Nick to Josh. We had almost the full gang out here to Ben, and we did have the full gang. We had Gary. I mean, Gary got in a couple early, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just thank you guys for putting it on. Thanks to my guys. We had a good season.
Again, congrats on that third place finish. Definitely look forward to seeing you here more in season 6. I think we got a few fun runs going on as well that we're going to be a part of here at
Yes.
Green White Checker TV. So I say look forward to that as well. So I say enjoy that finish though. Say definitely a good way to end the season on a high note. And I say we'll definitely see you here contending, I'm sure, in these future races.
Yes, we have a Dark Horse is going to help sponsor a fun race. I think it's on the 13th. October 13th, we're doing an Indy 500 or Indy 375 with both leagues, so it should be a lot of fun. So
there you go, guys.
Are going to be on that one, so thank you.
All right, so yeah, October 13th, if you're interested, mark it on your calendars. Always these cars are always great at Indy. That is going to be a good show, so look forward to being a part of that as well.
Thank you.
There's Charles.
All right, so that is our third place finisher, Charles Teed. Now we got to hunt down our second place finisher, that number 76 of Jim Brooks. Try to see what he could do there. Couldn't quite get it done, but definitely gave it his all as well. So let's go and pull that 76 of Jim Brooks into the booth here for your second place finish here tonight. And looked like you had a couple attempts there trying to get to that 131. But then when Craig made an attack on Eric, kind of predicted one way and then Eric went the other way, and it seemed like that really kind of threw off everybody's momentum there coming to the white flag.
Yeah, they both ended up going to the same place, and I thought I had a chance on Craig there for a moment inside, but 3 and 4, it was still pushing a little bit even at that stage of the game, which was only about 10, 12 laps on the tire or something like that. And I was hoping it would stay green because my strategy was just about there because I was the last car, but I think Eric and I, the last cars to pit, and all I had to do was hit a good pit stop, and I think I could have came out in the lead, and who knows after that, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up too, because we're watching some of the pit strategies. Obviously, Bud did this strategy of staying out and then had to pit early, of course, to fill up and get to the end. So Steve and I are watching the lap times. All right, Bud's gonna have fresh tires. Let's see what he can do compared to Craig, who was leading at the time. And their lap times were hundreds, thousands of a second off of each other. So really, even as long as you had clean air, I feel like the tires didn't seem like they fell off too badly. So I think you're right. I think it really would have come down to just the pit in and out laps, which I know you've definitely put a lot of time and effort into to try to be that one to maximize it. So would have been interesting to see how it panned out. But again, I mean, kind of started a little bit further than back there, 22nd, worked your way up to the front. Then once you're there, gave it all you could there. So it was an exciting one to watch from your end. Was there anything that on your end that stood out to me? Like Steve and I are watching, like this one really seemed like the tire wear, it actually played a lot bigger role. Like you couldn't just hug the white line the whole race, otherwise it really would actually hurt your tires tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. 1 and 2 was pretty good. I could run pretty much full out through 1 and 2. I noticed some people were having a little trouble there, and I was able to make some passes there. 3 and 4 was another animal, and you had to be late entering and then go low, and then you still had to feather it somewhere because it was going to push up to the wall. But on that one green flag that most everybody made run, I actually had the weight jacker to about 9 positive, and that was helping a lot. In fact, once I got the lead, I was I was able still to go full out those couple of laps. So that's why I was thinking I was in good shape. But yeah, the tires, they did not last, and that was a good thing. It made for certainly a more interesting race, I thought.
Yeah, I think this track and the tire wear and everything that combo, I think it worked out really well. It seemed like you said, where you had to kind of manage a little bit of everything. So yeah, I mean, great run though. So they get in the second place tonight. Obviously, again, nice to, I'm sure, finish strong here season 5, then be able to go full tilt here in season 6 in just a few weeks. So that being said, though, of course, got to give you the opportunity. Thanks, shouts you'd like to give for that second place run tonight.
Yeah, maybe your brother Quavi if he's around, but you never know. But thank you for covering us this season. Look forward to next one, and ought to be fun.
All right, congrats again, and so I look forward to chatting again with you here soon.
Yep, that's Jim. Great run up through the field.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Steve.
All right, that is our second place finisher, Jim Brooks. Now we got to hunt down, find those burnouts. There they are. That number 131 of Craig Forsyth getting the win this evening. So we got to see him there from the close view there. So now we'll jump a little further away. All right, Craig. So I got to ask you. Say obviously that caution timing didn't work out great for you initially, with you having to take the wave around and get back on the lead lap. And the next question is, how did you get through the field so quick to be right back up into the mix there at the end? Because Steve and I are like, okay, yeah, we're watching the lead battle and all that. And it's like, wait, where'd Craig come from? I mean, what did you do there?
Yeah. Man on a mission, baby. That caution came out and the cursing started because I thought I'd be back because I knew we'd get the wave around. I didn't realize I'd be starting back in 9th. And yeah, I was not happy, but man on a mission. I had one place to go and that was to the front, and things worked out. That's for sure. Got lucky. I mean, Eric had decided to let me by, which was nice on him. Unfortunately, we both decided to go high at the exact same time, so we had a slight touch right there, but was able to get away with both of us without having any damage. So I was able to get under him and then push away to the end.
Yeah, it was. I mean, whatever you did, it obviously worked. We're watching this, and we were talking about that too. Then towards that on the last restart, when some of those drivers pitted there for fresh tires, possibly for some faster pairs, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, we saw Craig do. We see how far up they can charge too. So that was an awesome run to be able to charge back up from the back to the front there under that cycle. So I know that obviously the season hasn't quite gone to plan for you. You've come out strong here to finish up season 5, though. I think you'll wind up solidly in 3rd in points there with that result. I say. Also, does it feel like on your end maybe a little bit of a statement race as well, to be like, all right, here's what's coming up here for you guys in season 6 to deal with?
Yeah. I mean, I still don't know what happened to me in those last couple laps at Chicagoland. The car just suddenly kicked out on me without any warning, which was unfortunate because I think I had a good car to finish those last couple laps out. So I was ruining that for a few days. So it was nice to come away and feel like, I mean, I think I started 15th or something. This one, I had a terrible qualifying on this race here, but I knew I only had one mission, and that was to get right to the front. So it was nice to basically wipe the slate clean on those first couple of races. I think it wasn't until Watkins, the 5th race or so in the season, before I finally started putting some good results together.
Like in getting to the front so quickly from 9th. What do you think you were able to do in 3 and 4 to combat the push that you got coming off the turn that wasn't killing you and trying to get by people?
Staying high, honestly. I mean, the one thing I've learned over the last couple seasons being with Bud is Bud loves to run the high line, and I always ignored the high line in my early oval racing days, and it was like as tight as you could all the time. And started to notice that Bud running the high line was able to save his tires and get good takeoffs coming out of the turns 4 or turns 2, depending on which corner you were in. And this course was the same thing. I was staying high and making sure that coming over top of people worked really well.
Nice. I got one other question. How were you able to make such a perfect O on the front stretch when you did your burnout?
Brake bias all the way to the front, baby.
Yeah, Steve was very impressed with their burnout skills. So we got a pretty good view of it there. Say we're able to pull the camera up, so I think the viewers will have a pretty good shot of your burnout prowess. So you've had some pretty good practice. I feel like the last couple of races here.
It was a really good donuts right up until I blew the engine. So I guess that's the right way to end the season.
So yeah, you got to wait for you got that season 6 engine spec that you got to work on anyway.
Sure, the team won't be mad at you for blowing the engine tonight.
Hopefully not.
All right. Well, before we let you go, though, Craig, definitely got to give you the opportunity. Thanks, shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the win tonight for that season 5, apologies, finale here at Homestead.
I got to thank the guys at you guys, Green White Checkers, Butt Kicker, season series sponsor for the league, and all the guys at Area 51. I mean, this is a good league, and if you want to run some nice tight racing on a Tuesday night, this is the Indy league to do it in. That's for sure.
Congrats again, Craig. Enjoy the win. So I look forward to seeing you here again soon in season 6.
Congrats,
you bet, you
Craig.
guys.
All right, so we've only got one person to hunt down now, Steve. That is going to be our Season 5 champion, that number 72 of Eric Schaus. As we go way too fast there we go. All right, so let's go and pull him in here. I'm in the wrong channel. Doesn't help Steve when I move myself instead of other people. All right, pulling on our 4th place finisher, Season 5 champion here for the Indy Series, Eric Schaus. Started 2nd, finished 4th. Let's say, obviously, could have probably fought a little harder if you wanted to there at the end, but man, that was a hard-fought race for you all throughout. Let's say first at the beginning with you in that 83, and then actually a couple times, and there's a few times that I don't know how that car how either of you actually were able to stay pointing in the right direction there. I mean, you guys definitely had your hands full tonight to try to fight for that title.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard-fought race. Jack did an excellent job qualifying in front of me. I could not find the fastest line for qualifying, and he seemed to do it. So props to him for doing that. He put all the pressure on me starting out. But from there, I knew that, if anything happens to either of us, it needs to happen to us at the same time. So when Jack was in first and I was in second, really for me, it was just race him really hard, push him down to that white line if possible. If we crash, we both crash. And, that's in my favor. And then, same thing again later on down the road when he was racing me. He was on my outside, I think, and I was just kind of letting the car push up a little bit, keeping it higher off the white line, because if he wanted to push me down low and we crashed, that was, that would hurt him more than it hurt me again. So it was really just racing as hard as I could right up until the end there, where I tried to let Craig go by. Like he said in his interview, we had the same idea at the same time. I wanted him to go by and he wanted to pass me on the outside, and it almost caused an incident. But fortunately, we both kept it going straight. And then from there, it was just, tucking back in line and trying to drive safe for that last lap and stay alive.
I say on the fuel and tire side of things, I mean, did you notice kind of the difference when you were up front trying to hug the bottom line, or then kind of running the middle top groove? Was it really starting to hurt your tires on that long run if you were trying to keep that thing pinned to the bottom?
Yeah, I didn't really like it down low for long stints, so it really depended. My entire strategy really depended on where Jack was. If Jack was in front of me, then I had to race hard. If Jack was behind me, then I was just kind of letting it go. I think I dropped back to 5th or 6th at one point just because I was trying to save tires, save fuel, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. When that second line was definitely the outside line, I think was the better line, because if you timed it just right, you could get a good run and pass the guy. It was easier on your tires. You kind of controlled some more of the tempo, and just it was a little bit less pressure than being on the low side. So I didn't mind it when people got in front of me and I took 2nd or 3rd. That was completely fine with me.
I noticed something early on that kind of surprised me. You made a very aggressive move on Jack when you were in 2nd place early in the race, and it almost cost you because you ended up getting onto the apron and almost losing the car, which, by the way, was a great save. I just, I was thinking like you had to finish, I think 4th or better if he won the race.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering why you decided to be so aggressive that early.
A little bit was just a mental lapse. Earlier, right before that had happened, Jack and I got into a little bit of a little bump side to side that threw me up into the wall,
Saw
and then
that.
from there, I fell back a little bit, and then I tried to get aggressive so I could get back up front with him, and that made me catch the apron, which I had to catch again. And then after catching the apron, I was like, all right, just settle down, sit where you are, pass cars when the opportunity comes, and then move on from there.
Yeah, it was definitely a moment. So I'm sure Rachel will update you after you guys have a chance to chat. But I say she was definitely watching and definitely was stressing out. Say hopefully she's switched from wine to champagne now to celebrate the title this evening. But yeah, I mean that was like you said. I mean you definitely were fighting for everything you could there tonight. It was exciting to watch. Let's say for sure for Steve and I from our perspective. So yeah, I mean again, great job. I say. Obviously, season 6 not too far away. Looks like it's gonna be a hard fought one there as well. It's a lot of serious contenders. I think we saw obviously the 131 and Craig Forsyth. I think he's starting to kind of show like, hey, this is what you're gonna have to contend with here coming soon as well. So, any thoughts of next season, or at this point you're just thinking about enjoying this one here?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There's a couple guys this season that near the end they really stepped it up. Craig, I know Charles Teed's been working really hard. A couple guys out there have just been putting in a lot of laps, putting in a lot of effort to make it pretty challenging up front. So I don't expect any race to be easy next season. I don't know. Part of me wants to just pull like a Nico Rosberg and just retire after my championship wins. So we'll see. I don't know that I'll race it as hard next season. I definitely put a lot of time with the practices and everything else into this one. So I might take it a little bit easier next season and just see where I end up.
Yeah, you put on a hell of a show every single race this season, and it was a lot of fun watching you and learning from you about how to drive these things and how to be successful with them.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad I can put on a good show for you guys and everybody else watching.
All right. So that being said, though, of course, congrats again on the title here for season 5. That being said, though, got to give you the floor here. Any thanks, shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the championship here in season 5?
Yeah, thanks to you guys at Green White Checker TV. Thanks to Area 51 for putting on a great season. I do look forward to the next one. Thanks to my wife, and I believe all of her sisters are watching. So I appreciate the support from everybody. And anybody else that's watching that I missed. I don't know if my father-in-law got a chance to watch this one or not, but shout out to all those people that were watching, and thanks for the support.
Well, congrats again on the title here, Eric. Enjoy it, and yeah, look forward to catching you in some future races.
Yep, congrats, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you next time.
All right, season 5 champion of the Area 51 Racing League Indy Series, Eric Schaus, brings it home in 4th position, able to do what he needed to do to get it done. Again, had that points lead entering the race. Tried to do everything he could to protect it, say, with having to hold off a really hard charge from Jack Wells to try to get that title as well. So with that, though, we got to pull up our results for tonight's race. So we'll start with our top 10. You see Craig Forsyth getting the win by just under a tenth of a second over Jim Brooks, Charles Teed in 3rd. Then we've got Eric Schaus in 4th, Michael Spell 5th, David Leclerc 6th, James Ledford, Jack Walls, Josh Garner, and Brendan Pasalaco rounding out the top 10. Then you got 11th through 20th. You got Benjamin Combs, Bud Steele, David Patton, Timothy Wright, Dwight Plesh, Christopher Kresge, Art Peck, Chris Jabot, Jared Kaczynski, and Nicholas Winook. Fortunately, those guys getting caught up in some incidents, not of their doing, just wrong place, wrong time, so it hurt their results for tonight's race. And the remainder of the field, we got Todd Merkel, Charles Johnson, Gary Corley, and Jason Bridges. Unfortunately, some difficulties for their races as well this evening. All right, Steve, somehow it's already been 12 weeks of racing. We've finished up season 5 here with Area 51 Racing League here. ASA, any final thoughts for tonight's race and for just the season in general?
Well, a lot of thoughts. First of all, this was a fun league to broadcast. As other people have mentioned, I was impressed with the respect that drivers race each other with. A lot of great competition from the front to the back of the field, and it seemed like the drivers had a lot of fun with it. So that made it good. This is also my first time ever doing broadcasting, so I hope I did a good enough job that that Gael will hire me to to come back again, and that people who are watching enjoyed my part of doing the broadcast. So thank you for that, Gael, and I'm looking forward to doing this again.
So yeah, I've loved having you here in the booth. I'll say if you're ever able interested, I'll say the door's definitely always going to be open for you here. So no worries on that front, Steve. I'll say it's a pleasure having you in the booth with me. I say it just you have a lot more insight on things that I want to be able to think of, and just also of course just being able to bounce things back and forth. So I'll say it's great on my end as well. So really want to thank you for joining me this season. It's been a huge help, and I'm really appreciative of it as well. So I say it's been awesome to have you in the booth with me. I say it's fun to share the track with you in a different way. But yeah, so say again, as Steve mentioned, I really want to thank you all as well for joining us here all season. It's been a lot of fun. So I think we've been kind of learning and growing as we've gone through a couple of these seasons. Again, season 6 not too far away. Going to have a few televised fun races as well. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Again, if you aren't sure, say the league here is Area 51 Racing League. You can find them at area51iracing.com. So that being said, this is going to be championship week for the Area 51 Racing League. We've got tomorrow night we've got the 87 series. I'd say that one's pretty much already wrapped up, but I'll definitely be there to to be able to watch the show there. Thursday night, of course, we'll have the Cup season finale, and then we will finish things off on Sunday for the Super Speedway Cup Series finale. And then we'll have a couple of fun races for those off weeks, and then get right back into it again here on season 6. I'll say with us, and again, Area 51 Racing League and Green White Checker TV will be working together to give you broadcasts on 3 of those nights on the Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays for season 6. So again, really want to thank you all for watching. Congrats again to our top 3 and our champion. Also, Jack Wall's a great season for him as well. Should bring it home in second in points. So yeah, so again, thank you all for watching. Look forward to catching you here again tomorrow evening. And until then, of course, if you can, please try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and have a good night.